All right, I'm going to play some Tour 5 here and see if I can get some of the Grennoch point holes. They've got 4 of the holes that have been reconfigured, so I'm going to see if I can get those ones. Which holes are they? Let's see here. Holes number 3, 5, 8, 9 in the tournament. That's Granite Point, hole number 7, hole number 3, hole number 8, and hole number 6. And this is not one of those holes. I did set up a bag just for this hole, though. In tournament play, if you bring out a power 5 ball, you can hit to this little peninsula down here, and that little peninsula is tricky. I have epic failed on this peninsula on hole number 18 in a tournament and lost the tournament because of the drive on this hole. The last time we played this hole in a tournament, I actually went and looked at some other options, and you can hit over the rocks. Most people that come here will hit over the rocks and hit into the fairway on the other side, and I've never really trusted that. But it's so easy here to roll over. You can see how much it drops off there. Another inch and they probably would have rolled off. Super dangerous. Super. Got my big topper. Try and get out into that area. 1-1. It's about a half a ring. Hit a warm ring great to the left. Still trying to wake up. I just got up, came out, started playing. I think I hit it too far. Have to see. I need to be able to catch this little island right here with a big dog. If you bring a power 5 ball, you can just get over to the other side. It doesn't take max topspin either. It takes 2 or 3 topspin with a big dog from the other side. You can get on. When you hit this green, it tends to want to roll to the right. So when you're doing the long shot coming in, it's better to come in at it a little high. Very nice. Very nice. Of course, we go to 7-1 headwind. That's not good. No bueno. 2, 4, 6, 7. Puts me about a ring and a half, ring and 3/4 into power. See if we can catch it. If we can do the rough bump and then bleed out on the other side and end up in the fairway. I overshot that drive. I actually needed to, if I'd have hit it about 20 yards shorter, I would have had a better look at it. See if we can get up and down from here. My opponent's in wedge range, so I've got to be short iron, long iron. See if they can get up and down. Get my trusty dusty calculator out here. See if they can get in the hole. Probably not on a 2-ring grate. I think if they'd hit that perfect, it would have missed on the other side. my Hornet. There's Min. There's Max. Pretty close to Max. One per ring. Six, 5. There's 5, 6, half. Oh, just a bit outside. Not going to go in if you don't hit them perfect. Come on. Really just trying to get back into the game. I had about a 2.5, 3 week period of time with so bad of lag that I didn't even play. Played very, very little. With all of the tournaments that we've had over the last 4 months, 4.5 months, it's just been tournament. And then we got that big update and got all that lag and stopped playing for a few weeks. You stop playing one of these games for a few weeks. And you got to convince yourself to get back into it. 1.15. I'm going to add on 15% to the win. Times 6. That's 6.9 rings. There's 5, 6, almost 7. Oh, I swear I still can't hit perfect. And on that one, I didn't need to. Woo! We just had this hole in the last tournament. And the tournament before, 2 tournaments ago, when that hole was in a tournament, I was killing it. Last tournament, I don't think I hit a perfect shot in there all week. I had it lined up good. I have my adjustment pretty good. I'm right there. It's just a matter of getting a little teeny bit of luck. Couldn't get any luck at all in the tournament. Now, my opponents got all of that room down there, and they put themselves 1 ring off of that transitional surface. It cracks me up. You're setting the shot up. Why would you take anything to the left completely out of the shot? I guess it helps if you hit perfect, but look at how close he hit. They actually clipped it. I never can figure out when people are setting up shots why you're setting the shot up. Why wouldn't you give yourself more room? See if they'll rematch. Doubtful. Doubtful. Let's clear out a couple chests. Get a couple slots open. See if we can get one of those or any of the Grennoch point holes. I played for about an hour last night and I did not get a single one of the Grennoch point holes. Drew more links. Yeah, with a big ass headwind like that. 6 miles per hour. That's it's 2 per ring, 2.1 per ring, so it's right at about 3 rings. Put a little bit of curl. Hitting it perfect. See if we can just float down there to the bottom. This is another one of those holes in tournament play. If you bring out the right ball, you can bounce from this island to that center, to this little fairway pad. You can bleed through and end up on that fairway pad and end up with a very nice short chip. You can get on in one here, but I've never been able to do it consistently. Like, you can go to get on in one, but it's easy to get caught up in the rough down there around the green. Relatively speaking, it's still a pretty easy shot from the rough, but you got to hit it perfect. It's one of those deals. It's much better if you can make it all the way over to the green side. And you can run out your topspin, and you don't necessarily have to hit it perfect. But if you're at distance here, it's definitely better to be in the fairway for sure. Faux show. There's Max. There's Min. So I'm right at Min Club. See if I can do the rough bump. And I'm not going to be able to work the wind out with the rough bump, but I don't think I have enough backspin to get me. So we can do a second bounce rough bump. A Min Club, so there's 2, 4, 6. It's about 3 1/3 rings. It's actually 1.75 per ring at Min. So that was an underpull, and I hit it great. I think we were just playing this with a regular, like a Titan or a Kingmaker, to get out into this area. And it was all about the bounces. You really wanted to do the rough bump. I tried where you could clip it and tried to get it to stop, but it would bleed off into the rough on the other side. You really need to do the rough bump in order just to dribble out onto that. But you can get up into this area right here on the drive shot if you bring a big enough ball. And you use some OP. But you can get to that other fairway without using any overpower. Easy breezy. In the hole. This is going to be one of those things. It'll be one of those weeks. Hopefully, I can get on a stretch where I can get some of the Glenmonarch holes. Just any of the holes would be nice, even if it's not one of the redesigned holes. Just starting to get some of the Glenmonarch holes during the practice session would be really nice, real nice. We're going to a shootout. See if we can get one here. All right. I'm going to add on 10%, so I'm going to do a 1 pull. One mile per hour, 100% accurate club, 1 ring. Hitting it perfect. Wow, I can hit perfect. Amazing. just a little short. Seems like it runs out a little bit here. That's why I left the ball guide a little bit short. I wasn't trusting my ball guide. Seems like if you run it all the way to the cup that it'll bleed past it. It'll come past it so fast that if you were on trajectory, it might bounce off, but I could be wrong. See if my opponent can get in with a big dog. This is not the desirable club to have on this shot. Ball guide. Very nice. Very nice. Game. Good game. So if they want to play again, unlikely. Of course, nobody wants to replay. It's not like we're trying to get holes here, and if we replay, we have a better shot at getting them. Come on, man. All right, Grennoch point. Come on. Come on. You can do it. Let's get 2 Grennoch points in a row? Hell no. Hell no. Drew more lengths. There's a bunch of different ways to play this hole. You can lay yourself up out here and have a long iron in. You can come over this direction and try and get up into this area. You can also do what my opponent's doing, or you can land on this island. Try and bleed off into that island just like that. With the wind behind them, they have a shot. And that was not it. That was not the shot. It's going to push me forward 5, and I don't think there's enough there to get over. It's going to push me out in that direction. I might end up in the drink. We might have a double drinker here. Just a bit to the right. Just a bit inside. And my opponent, because of their spot, they're going to forfeit by shutting their device off and walking away. I never, ever, I forfeit during tournament play, just it helps speed up the videos. Sometimes I'll play late on a Sunday, and so there is time constraints. But like in one-on-one play, I don't care how far behind I get, I never forfeit. The whole deal is that you're never going to get super confident at those rough shots or those sand shots or those shots from way off where you have to make it to recover. You're never going to be able to put that kind of hurt on your opponent if you don't go out there and play, no matter how bad the first shot was. Or instead of forfeiting, you can just close your device and put it in your back pocket and make me sit and wait for a minute, which is exactly what my opponent has done. I'll take the win, but gets me an opportunity to get back to Grennoch point faster. There's some of these Grennoch point holes that I haven't played. I literally haven't played in years. When those holes first came out, they were in the World Links. They were in Tour 5 and Tour 10. Grennoch Point, hole 3, par 5. Grennoch Point, hole 3, par 5. This is one of the holes that has some changes made to it. Change the stuff up there at the green. Oh yeah. That'll be a little different. See if we can just get up there and see what the look looks like. Oh. A ring and a half, 2 rings with an extra mile is probably not good. Not sure how much the front part here, that it definitely looks like it's different, but normally in tournament play I would bring a kingmaker. So where my red line's at, in the old configuration, you could get over from here and you could get out into this area. This front area here doesn't seem too much different, but definitely down towards the green, it's definitely different down there. It looks like they changed the whole, because we've been coming in with a rough bump, and it looks like they've made it so that this green's farther back. Here we would be in the rough before, and now we're not. Okay, it's 3-7. I'm just going to do a max pull. I'm not going to do any wind adjustment here. So 3-7. Puts me about 3/4 of a ring into power. Hit it 1 ring great to the left. Just barely made it. Be curious if you brought out a club that had a lot of topspin, whether or not the rough bump is still a viable. It looks like we could probably still get it from there, but it's one of those deals. If you miss that rough, you put all that topspin on there, you're going to be in big trouble. I'm kind of bummed out that they changed this hole. The last time we played this hole's been around for a long time, since the first year. And this hole had always been in the past where, like, I could catch an albie, maybe 1 albie in a tournament. But the last tournament, I came at it a little bit different direction, and instead of working around with mid club, minimum club, and thinking around, I just kept it at 1 per ring, and then I just kept working my wind adjustment until I was in the cup, and finally figured this hole out and was pounding it. And of course, they changed it. Of course. When this hole originally came out, the cup was at the bottom of a bowl. And you could come in at the green, depending on the angle that you came in at the green, if you could get your ball to engage that hole and not blow through it. It didn't quite swirl to the cup, but your chances of getting albie when this hole came out originally were better. The hole wasn't any easier. It was easy. If you could get up to the green, you did have a pretty decent shot. It's a draw. All right, this is definitely one of the redesigned holes. This is one of the racetrack holes, and I love the racetrack holes. And I liked that side's still there. This is the side I've been playing off of. Not sure with a Marlin if I've got enough side spin to get me over there. I do. That's as far as I can get down there. I'm going to do a 6 ring pool. I'm going to add on 10%. There's 5, 6. See if I can get it off. Hitting it perfect. I'm not sure which one of the holes this is. Let me look at my notes here. So they changed hole 7, which is a par 5. They changed hole 3, which is a par 3. So that's one of the holes that they changed. So I can go back and look at it because the other, they both have on the left-hand side the racetrack stuff going in here where you're at Daytona and you're hitting on 40-degree banking and trying to swing your ball around. One of them you really couldn't hit to the right. You could hit through the trees or you could hit to the left. The other one you could hit to the right or the left, and the right was the desired one. I think that's which hole this is. The way that it looks now, though, from the right, you can kind of run it up to the cup and not engage the racetrack as much, if at all. Good game. Good game. See if they'll rematch. Come on, man. Come on, dude. There we go. See if we can get a Grennoch point hole here. We get some replay action. Sometimes they'll pop out. There we go. Hole 5, par 5. I'm not sure that did I read that right? Is this hole 5? I don't think this is hole 5. This is one of the par 5s, so I've got no video for this hole, so this must be hole number 9. And that is the very easy thing. Yeah, and if you're up on the top up there and that happens, you're screwed. Screwed. Let's see how much they've changed. Let's see. I'm going to switch to a bigger ball here. Four, 6. Take the side wind out. Let's see if I can get this to pop. Hit it one ring great to the left. See if I can catch that fairway. On the fairway on the other side. That's the area down there. So depending on how the wind is blowing in the tournament, there's 2 ways that you can go at it from the bottom. You can go there, and I'm gonna have to explore the lower area because you can't really do a lot of curl in the shot that I was at because there's those trees on the left. But there is another way that you can go down there on the very bottom to try and get it over. But if you can get over to this side right here, you actually have, in my opinion, like this is like if you're really going for Albie, this is the only legitimate. It's not that you can't make an Albie from the side that my opponent was at, or trying to get up there and clip through those trees, but okay, it's 1 per ring. Max club. There's 5. There's 6. 3. Let's see if we can hit it perfect. Hitting it perfect. See if we can get up there and get an Albie. Get in the hole. So close. The way the wind was blowing right there, I over pulled it just a little. Close. I have to go back and watch that video and look at the elevation there. Maybe slightly uphill. We may need to take off about 5%. I'm more interested in playing somebody who wants to replay to try and get the holes that we're looking for than I am in winning here. So getting a hole. Oh, and they weren't paying attention. I've had this happen before where I miss a putt so that somebody can get in it, and then they're not paying attention because they just assume that I'm going to make that putt, and then they disconnect. I'm trying to force a shootout so that we can hopefully get another Grennoch point hole. Hopefully they'll want to replay. I mean, come on, man, you got somebody that's willing to miss shots to. I mean, anytime you're out there and you're playing against somebody who's willing to miss a shot in order to force a shootout so that you can continue to play and try and pick up the holes is somebody that you definitely want to try and play. I mean, replay. I mean, come on. I'm just amazed that the people's like not paying attention when they're playing. Now, granted, most people would have made that putt and moved on and won the match. But here I am waiting for another minute because my opponent is forfeiting the hard way. Man, I need more coffee. That's the trick. All right. That's what you get for not paying attention, dude. We would have went to a shootout, and you won the last shootout. I'm not in this for the coins. Come on, man. I don't mind getting chest, though. And how often do you play without an empty slot? The answer should be never. Now, I realize that if you watch my videos on a regular basis, and especially when I'm doing these one-on-one videos, and I am in a constant state of opening up chest. I mean, the whole deal about playing one-on-one, I don't go out there. I mean, I love to play the game, but I'm not out here. I'm not out here interested in winning just so that I can go, yeah, I won. I want to get a chest. I want to get some club cards. I want to try and upgrade my clubs. That's the whole deal. I'm going to bring a Titan, the king of balls. It looks like this hole has been slightly redesigned as well. That fairway over there to the left looks like it's smaller than it used to be. Like they've done some touch-ups on all the holes. One of the other holes that we were on just a little bit ago looked like it was slightly different. I could be wrong, but it does look like it's a little bit different than it was. They smoothed it out a little. This fairway looks like it's not nearly as big as it used to be. Okay, 3-6. Well, maybe. There's 3, 6. That was 7,000 rings to the left. You should be able to hit that shot down there. I mean, you definitely want to make sure. And once again, and it's part of how I play the game, because I like to set shots up so that I don't like setting shots up on drives. The shot going into the cup, you got to hit perfect. It doesn't matter whether you've got it all set up right and you made the best wind adjustment in the damn world. If you don't hit it perfect going into the cup, you're not going to make it. But on drive shots, I don't ever like to set my drive shot up so the only shot that I have is a perfect. I always like to give myself at least a great to the left and the right. And if I can give myself two greats to the left and the right, I'm even better. I'm going to do a 10% wind adjustment. 3.7. It's 4.07 rings. Let's see where I'm at in my club. Right at min. It's 4.1 rings, basically. Hitting it perfect. Just a bit. Just a bit. Pulled out just a little bit too much. Just a bit outside. Those are the heartbreakers, is when you hit it perfect into the cup. In tournament play, when it is like right on the edge of the cup, those are like, man, you just get a couple of those or like one of those to get a little bit of luck on your side and get that drop. That is a total game changer. But the ones that are the most depressing is when you got it all dialed in and you hit it perfect and it still didn't go in. Those are the heartbreakers. Especially on ones that you've been sinking that week. You're in the weekend round and you finally caught the same deal and you're in the same spot and it's just slightly off. I was talking to Hammer and Hank one day and we were talking about tournaments, and in the weekend round, like in their upload, when you first get the upload, they can put tweaks in there so that in the weekend round it plays just a little bit different. I'm not sure they've announced that they're going to do changes on the tournament stuff, and I'm not sure like with wind. It would be very easy for them to go, today the wind's blowing in a north direction. Part of the deal is that they don't have the course laid out, so I think even from their perspective on each hole, it would be nice if they would change the winds. No, it's not. I'm not in. I think the whole one-on-one way that the wind works in one-on-one is BS. Because if you're out on the course and you're getting a 10-mile-an-hour headwind, there's 5. And I'm not going to move much more than that because that sand's going to jerk it around. Isn't it perfect? You're out in one-on-one, and we've all had this happen to us before. You're out there in one-on-one and you get a 10-mile-an-hour headwind, and then the very next shot you get an 8-mile-an-hour tailwind. Okay, that means the wind changed direction 180 degrees in 5 minutes. In real golf, it's 5 minutes between shots, and so you just went 5 minutes and the wind changed 180 degrees. That's not realistic, not unless you're playing in a storm, and nobody goes out and plays golf in a storm. But it would be nice if they had varying winds, so that today the wind's blowing from the left to the right in a forward direction, and tomorrow it's blowing pure side wind from the right. Different winds for different days. And your first shot is blowing from the right to the left, and your second shot is blowing from the right to the left. It's blowing in the same direction. That's stuff that they could change every day. And all of these adjustments, because the adjustments that we're making are very dependent on which way the wind's blowing. How much time we got on this video? 39 minutes. We got enough for Probably 2 more holes. 2 more. Maybe we can get some more of the holes that we're looking for. Some of these Granite Point holes we've had, like my favorite hole, Granite Point hole number 6, which is hole number 9 in this tournament. It's the guitar hole. I really like to get that hole because that is, if it's not my favorite par 5, it's one of, I really like that hole. It's super technical. It's hard to get an albie on it. But in one-on-one play, it's one of those holes that if you don't have a shot to get up to the green, you're going to lose. And so it was one of those holes when I first started playing that I really liked because I could win a lot on that hole in one-on-one, especially in Tour 10. You start playing for 3 million around and you get on a hole like that where people tank the drive. You never count your money until it says winner above your name, but somebody ends up on the rough on hole number 9 on the drive. They could be in a spot of bother. All right. We're back on the Drewmore holes. Opponent's got an APOC 5. X-Master, 13,000 games. Played a bit, 322 million. You can figure out where they've been playing, like where they live at. You take the amount that they've won, divide it by 2. That'll tell you how much they actually won. And then divide that by how many games they played, and that'll give you a number. Whatever tour is the next tour above that number, that's where they've been playing. Let's see if we can get the, yeah. See if we can get the bounce into the bounce diddy bounce. And I don't like where I set that up. I'm gonna move it out to the left just a little. Hit a 1-ring great to the right, left. Definitely didn't have any room to hit it to the right. If I wouldn't have hit it to the left, I would have been on that little fairway pad. Just trying to bleed it up there. When the last time this came out, and this is one of those things my teammate Des has taught me, that if you go for it and you get over there, obviously you've got a short little chip or a putt, and that's pretty easy. But consistency-wise, you're better off laying it up over there and taking that wedge shot, because over the long haul, you're going to have a very consistent shot where you're taking every time you come to this hole, you're taking that wedge shot. Whereas when you hit to try and get on, you may not get over and out of that rough every time. And so a couple times you had a great shot, and the other times you were hitting out of the rough. Consistency. That's a kinky little area. With the way the wind's blowing, just leave that in. Now we just need to hit it perfect. And I hit it 700 rings great to the right. Distance was good though. My timing is so shit. After taking off the couple weeks, 2-3 weeks that I took off over the last week, we had the tournament last week. I didn't really actually get my internet on my side of the fence where I was 100% confident that there was no problems on my side of the fence until the weekend round. I played a pretty decent weekend round. I just couldn't get anything to drop in the hole. Couldn't hit perfect. That's the problem. If you go a whole weekend round and you only hit 3 perfects, you're not going to 3 perfects into the cup. You're not going to pick up a lot of shots. Not if you're setting them up right. I had full intentions of playing more this week, but I got up this morning and I thought I need to go out and just shoot a video and just get back into the routine and just get back into the rhythm and just go out and have some fun and try and pick up some holes and see what happens. See what happened is we might have time for one more. If I do one more and the video just stops, thanks for watching. But I'll play until the video stops or we can finish the next hole. I'm going to do a 2-ring pull. It's about a 10% adjustment. I know there's some kind of an adjustment there because it's way downhill. Hit it great to the left. Would have been a little short even if I'd have been on track. I got to get this bullseye thing figured out. What really screws me up is not the new bullseye being half the size of the old bullseye is definitely not good. But where my eye gets caught is now we don't have symmetrical lines anymore. So they're saying that the bullseye should have been a 1 degree, and what it was before was 1 degree on either side of dead center. And now it's a half a degree on either side of dead center. If they wanted to do that, they should have done that, but then they should have made the orange ring and the rest of the rings would not be any smaller, but the orange ring would actually be bigger. And now we have a non-symmetrical line in the middle so that when I'm watching the needle go by and I'm watching the stuff, we've got the 2 in the center, it's throwing me off. I like symmetry for sure. Faux show. I'm going to play one more. Let's see if we got time for one more. Do we have time for one more? We might have time for one more. One more. See if we can get one of the holes that we're looking for. Come on, man. Come on. Be nice to us. We're shooting video. We got people watching. They want a Grennoch point hole. Let's go. Come on, man. Come on. Come on. Don't give me one of those Drew Moore-Ling. Oh, yes. Hole 3, par 5. They've changed the numbers. All right. Let's bring out a bigger ball this time. Yeah, maybe I brought out a bigger ball last time. Maybe. My secondary clubs. All right. All right. 0.9, that's about a half a ring. I want to go a little bit to the left. 1 ring great to the right. I'm on a 1 ring great trip. That is definitely as far as I could have got up there. And that is definitely, I mean, they totally jacked up what's going on down there. I think now, though, the way that this, with those sand traps in there, you'd still have to, if you brought out a really big ball, like where my red line was out was up in this area. If you brought out a really big ball, on whether or not you could get your bounces right so that you could bounce over those sand traps and end up on the fairway on the green side. In the past, this is very indicative of the Grennoch point holes, because Grennoch point, one of the things that Grennoch point will teach you is how to place a ball. Like, it's better to be here than it is to be 5 yards further forward because you're outside of your shot. And there's red line issues here, so you can get caught up in the red line issues. We're at max club. I'm gonna do a 10%. So that I'm gonna do a 2-ring pool. That's probably somewhere in the 15% range. Isn't it perfect? Let's see if that rough bump's still rolling out true. In the hole. Ending it off with an albatross. That's what I'm talking about. That makes the whole video worthwhile right there. And what was that pull? That was 1.7 times x equals 2. So it's 2 divided by 1.7. So that was a 17.6% pull by doing 2 rings. It's good to see that the rough bump is still there. They've changed that area down there because it used to be that it was green, fringe, fairway, rough, and they were all like, pretty close together. Now they've opened it up down there so that people can come in without doing the rough bump. If you were coming in from that angle before and you weren't doing the rough bump, it was pretty difficult to get to the hole. And look at the hole. That green looks a lot flatter than it used to. It was hilly on one side. You had the cup here, then it was hilly on the right hand side, and then it was kind of flat on the bottom on the left. All right, that was an hour's worth of play. 52 minutes worth of play. Just trying to get some of the Tour 5 holes. Seeing if we can get some of the new ones, just to give you guys a look at it, and so I can get a look at it. All right, so this tournament's going to start on Monday, and we'll have to wait and see until I can get video of all of the new configurations, kind of like how the holes are playing. But there was a few of them on there. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend.